Hey everybody! Welcome on over to my blog and tutorial on how to make a flower coaster. It's a really simple little project that you can do. It takes me about 10 minutes to make each of these little flower coasters. I like doing them in sets of 3. I'm using these for some friends for Mother's Day. They have no clue they're getting them yet. Maybe that with a cute little mug or something would make a great little gift, or some candles. Sometimes I use the 3 of them and put them on my tables, or you can use them like a coaster like I'm doing right now, which is what they really are. It's really important too to use a yarn that's 100% cotton, because if you're using it for liquid cups and some mugs and things like that, in case you spill, you want to make sure it absorbs it. So 100% cotton is usually the way to go for these. And for these particular ones, I believe I used a H hook. The H hook gives me like smaller, I think because it had a 3-ply, and that worked well when I was doing the ones that you see above there. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to be using this hot pink 5-ply, really bulky yarn. It's really easy to show you this way when I do the tutorials, and I use a beginner's hook needle. It's like a size N, 10 millimeters. It's really big. So round 1, the first thing we're going to do is begin by making chain 4. I don't really like using magic circles or magic rings. I usually just chain up 4 like we're going to do here. So chain 4, 1, chain 2, chain 3, and chain 4. Now, what you want to do to complete the circles, you want to go back to that very first chain in the beginning and do a slip stitch. So that'll close the circle for you. Just make sure you keep the little tail out of your way so you're not combining that, because I use the tail at the end to bind off. So go ahead and do a slip stitch there, and now you have that cute little circle. Because in the circle for round 1, that's where we're going to be putting a lot of double crochets. So go ahead and chain 2 for the beginning of round 1. And then we're going to do 10 double crochets in that ring. Here's the first one there. Second double crochet. Right in that ring. All these 10 double crochets are going to go right in the center of that ring. There's the third double crochet. Fourth double crochet, and then there's the 5th double crochet. And at this point, I'm probably going to speed it up, this way you don't have to watch me doing all these double crochets, but you're going to double crochet all the way around. You're going to see me speed through it right now. You can pause it at this point and come on back. And at the end of the round, what you're going to do is slip stitch. And I usually slip stitch in that very top chain, which is that chain 2 from the beginning. So slip stitch right on through, and that completes the circle. So round 1 is already done. Round 1 is already done. So now round 2, you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now, you're going to double crochet in the very first stitch below that chain. It's the very first thing the very first hole you're going to see right there. So with the chain, you're going to go in there and do a double crochet, and then we're going to begin this stitch called a V stitch. And a V stitch is simply a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same hole. But right now, let's do a double crochet in that very first stitch below, and that kind of completes that first V stitch right there. So now, in each chain from the first round, you're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, chain 1, and another double crochet in the same space. And you're going to do that all the way around. So you're going to do 10 of those going all the way around. And what that V stitch does is creates a space for the next round, because we're going to be putting double crochets in those large spaces. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. And then you move on to the next one. I'll do one more, and then I'll fast forward a little bit, or you can pause and go all the way around. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch all the way around, and those are V stitches. Okay, we're going to finish off round 2 with a slip stitch. I usually like taking my slip stitch all the way up to the top where that chain is. You just slide it on through and pull your yarn through both, and that completes round 2 already with a slip stitch. Those spaces are very important from those V stitches, because round 3 we're going to be putting 2 double crochets in each of them as we get larger. Round 3, you're going to chain 2 to begin, and then you're going to actually be putting 2 double crochets in each of those large spaces. But because we already did a chain 3, that counts as one of the double crochets plus the chain. So in that first large space, you're going to do a double crochet, and then chain 1. Now go into the next large space, which is from the V stitch from before. Double crochet 2 times, and then chain 1. Double crochet in the large V stitch from before. One more, and then you're going to chain 1. Let's do one more. We're going to do a double crochet in the V stitch from below, and then you're going to chain 1. And all the directions are below as well. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. Double crochet 2 times, and then chain 1. And you're going to do this all the way around. I'll speed through, but you can always pause and come on back. You're going to end the round by slip stitch again. Again, go to that top chain, slide it on through, and then pull your yarn through both. And that completes round 3 already. You're almost there. You have one more round to go. The scallop part is next. Okay, so for round 4, it gets a little bit tricky, but it's very easy. You'll be able to get it. So first thing you're going to do is chain 3. Okay? In those large spaces from below, you're going to do 4 double crochets in the first large space. In the rest of them, we're going to be doing 5, but you'll get used to it. And in between the spaces, you're going to do a slip stitch. You're going to do a section of 5, a slip stitch on top, and then you're going to do 5 double crochets. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. So let's do 4 double crochets in the first large hole from the space below. Let me put it back on there. So I'm going to do 4 double crochets. Here's 1, 2, so how we're making our scallop, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch on the top of the next stitch. We're just going to slide it on through. It's in between those double crochets from below, and slip stitched all the way in. That helps make the scallop. That's how you're going to scallop all the way around. So now we're going to put 5 double crochets in the next large space from below. That's going to start our next scallop. So here's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. There's a scallop, but let's join it by doing a slip stitch. You're going to put it right into the next stitch on top and slip stitch right on through. Bring it through both. Perfect. Now you have 2 scallops. You're going to just keep doing the same thing all the way around. 5 double crochets in the space, slip stitch on the next stitch. Let's do the last one together again. Here's 5 more double crochets. I think that's 4 and 5. So now instead of the stitch next there, we're going to skip a couple. That last slip stitch is going to happen at the base of the beginning chain because you want to combine it and then we're going to weave off at the end. So go ahead and count over 1, 2 to the 3rd stitch for that final slip stitch. It's not going to go there. It's going to go all the way over there because we're closing off now. So do a slip stitch right at the end there. Pull it on through and you're basically done. There it is. The only thing we have left to do is fasten off. They look really awesome. Obviously the one I just made for the tutorial is a lot bigger. I think it would be actually kind of cool to make a blanket out of these with all different flowers and just sew them together. Maybe that'll be another tutorial I do at another time. But for now, this is the tutorial for the small flower coasters. Now we're going to weave off and finish off. I usually leave about 12 inches at the end, and I use a tapestry needle, and then I weave it into the beginning. So let's just yarn over and pull through and pull that tail all the way through. Let's bind it off right there, a little bit tight. And then let's flip it over to the not so pretty side. That's the non-working side. Use your needle. I use a big eye needle. I don't know what it's called, maybe a tapestry needle, especially for the bulky yarn. And then thread it on up. And I like to hide the yarn by passing it all the way through to the very beginning circle of the project. and I actually tie it to my beginning tail. So here you go. So just kind of weasel your way through there until you get all the way close to the beginning. I usually pull it through about halfway so I'm not tugging it too hard. And then keep going through till you get to the beginning. And you can weave off really any way you want. Some people could just end it right at the end of the round and just tie it off. I like hiding it, so I just bring my beginning tail and end tail together and tie it off nice and tight so I know it's nice and secure. And then I just cut it off. Make sure it's nice and tight. Cut it off right there. And it's done. Simple and easy. I know it seemed maybe a little bit difficult, but all the instructions will be down below with a link to my blog. This is from thecapturedbliss.com, and I look forward to you coming back for more of my tutorials. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.